Our Unitarian Universalist bylaws affirm 6 values, centered in love and inseparable from each other. On the second Sunday of the season, we call to mind the second such value, pluralism. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect.
And we will pass the piece today with from the Spanish liturgy with the response in italics there in your order of service. La paz esté con ustedes.
La paz esté con ustedes.
And the response is, y con tu espíritu.
Y con tu espíritu.
Please rise and pass the peace to those around you. Y con tu espíritu.
Please join us in singing hymn 317, We Are Not Our Own.
We are not our own, earth forms us, human leaves on nature's growing vine, fruit of many generations, seeds of life. We are not alone. Past and present, peoples near and far, family and friends and strangers, us who we are. Therefore
Welcome.
Good morning. I'm Susan Bridgeford, she and hers, your celebrant this morning.
And I'm the Reverend Meredith Garmon, Zir, or he, him, interim minister for this congregation.
Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Des Moines, and a special welcome to our visitors. For those of you on Zoom, thanks for tuning in, and please be sure your mic is muted. If you are here with children, there is childcare, or feel free to keep them seated with you, or to utilize our play area in the back.
We open this gathering with an acknowledgement of the lands, the waters, plants, and animals, human and otherwise, whose being is bound up with our own in mutual dependence, whose ghosts are among us here. The first land vertebrate appeared on what is now Iowa as the seas receded 330 million years ago. Humans have been here for the last 0.004% of those 330 million years, or 13,000 years. The Clovis, Folsom, Dalton, Woodlands, and Hopewell cultures have made this land their home. And in the last 1,000 years, the Oneata lived here, followed by the Iowa, Sauk, Meskwaki, and then Europeans. Non-human animals that have lived here include the eastern elk, extinct since 1877. This location's past calls to us occupying it in the present to join the work of education and healing for all species.
And bring awareness also to our current location in the rhythms of nature. Today is the second Sunday of spring. The moon was new yesterday and is now waxing crescent. The 8-day Jewish festival of Passover begins on the next full moon, which will be Saturday, April 12th. Thank you. Today is the fourth Sunday of the Lenten season, which continues 3 more weeks until Easter on April 20th. On the Muslim calendar, the holy month of Ramadan ended yesterday evening.
For newcomers to our congregation who may be curious to learn a little more about us, every first Sunday of the month we have a curiosity conversation after the service. The next one will be Sunday, April 6th, next week, just after the service in the back of this room. Our theme for the month of April coming up is caring, and the packets are available in a basket just outside the back door there. Please pick up your copy. We have a food fair. Tuesday, April 1st is the deadline for food fair submissions. Stop by the food fair table for more info. And now we light our chalice.
On the second Sunday of the season, we dedicate our chalice to our value of pluralism. Please join with me in the chalice lighting words from Christine Robinson on the screen and in your order of service. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
We are a people of covenant, not of creed, and we express our covenant in our denomination's bylaws, our bond of union, our mission, and our relational covenant. Today, please join me in affirming the bond of union of our congregation. We covenant to associate to ourselves together for the study and practice of morality and religion as interpreted by the growing thought and noblest lives of humanity, hoping thereby to prove helpful one to another and to promote truth, righteousness, and love in the world.
Our responsive invocation is 444. Please respond with the words on the screen in yellow italic. This house is for the ingathering of nature and human nature. It is a house of friendships and in trouble, an open room for the encouragement of our struggle. It is a house of freedom, guarding the dignity and worth of every person. It offers a platform for the free voice, for the caring of both in times of security and danger, It is a house of truth-seeking where scientists can encourage devotion to their quest, where mystics can abide in a community of searchers. It is a house of prophecy, outrunning times past and times present in visions of growth and progress.
Before I read today's story, I do want to give a shout out to one of our youth. Ada was very kind and came forward last Sunday and asked if she was able to take the color pencils home and sharpen them. And so she did that. And so I want to give her a formal thank you and service for doing so. Today's story is Sticks by Diane Alber. Hey, Bendy, look at all these sticks. They're everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere. But what are we supposed to do with them?
I don't know. We could make stuff with them, like a house or a boat, or maybe even a spaceship.
But what if we can't use them right away? What if some of these sticks don't bend or break how we want them to?
Don't worry, Bendy. These sticks are meant to be used in all kinds of ways. Some might bend, some might snap, and some might just stay straight. We just have to try. Look, Bendy, this one is straight. It's perfect for a foundation.
That's a good point. A straight stick is strong, it's stable. But what about this one? This one's already got a little curve.
What can we do with that? It's not like the other one.
Well, not all sticks need to be straight to be useful. This bent one could make a great frame for something, maybe a tent.
Oh, I see. So we don't always need everything to be the same.
Exactly. Sometimes we need variety. Some sticks are straight, some are bent, some are thin, and some are thick, and each one can be useful in its own way.
Look, we made something, a little house.
Well, it's not perfect, but it works, and that's what matters.
Yeah, and we used all kinds of sticks. Some straight, some bent, some short, some long. Each one had its own job to do.
Yep, the trick is to see what each stick can do. Some things need to stay straight, some need to bend, and some things work best when we find a balance.
What else can we make? We could make a bridge or a ladder or even a sculpture.
I love that idea. We could even use those sticks to create art, just like how you can see beauty in how each one is different.
Yeah, like how some sticks are rough, some are smooth, and some are even a little knotted. They all have their own unique story.
Exactly. And it's our job to figure out how to use them, not to make them fit into just one idea of what they should be. Every stick is valuable, even if it doesn't look like the others.
This is the best thing ever. We didn't just make a house, we made it our way.
And we used what we had, no matter what shape or size it was. I think that's the most important thing, making the best of what we have.
Yeah, it's like how we don't always have to be perfect to be useful. We just have to do our best.
That's right, just like these sticks. Every one of them had something special to offer.
And we can use them all in so many ways. We're never limited by what they look like, but how we think about them. We really did it, didn't we?
Yep, we sure did.
Who knew sticks could be so much fun?
Well, you know what they say, Sticky. It's not about the stick, it's about how you use it.
That's the best lesson ever.
Let's keep building one stick at a time. Cute story.
At this time, we are going to have all of our youth who are in K1 Owl or in the one-room schoolhouse classroom gather in the back, and we're going to sing them out. So take them downstairs for the rest of the service. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sue Huber. My pronouns are she, her, hers.
And I'm Leanne Back, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. We are here today representing the nominations committee. It's that time of year again that we're looking for applications for board members for the upcoming 3 years. So I just want to tell you, I was here yesterday doing volunteering for the Trans Festival, and it was the most incredible feeling to say that I was a member of this church when people asked. It was incredible. The amount of people that were here supporting each other, it just warmed my heart. So volunteering is a really great way to be involved and to learn more about our church and the people in our community. That being said, we came up with 10 top reasons to volunteer for the Board of Trustees, like David Letterman used to do. So, you want to get started?
Number 10, it may help you live longer.
Or not. Spoken from a true board member here. How many years has the board taken off of you, James? It gives you a chance to give back.
Number 8, it helps you meet others and make new friends.
It increases happiness.
It builds personal growth.
It increases your confidence.
It contributes to the community.
It teaches you new skills.
It promotes good health.
And, should we say it together?
Sure.
You get to work with a new pastor.
So please, if you're interested in being I'm going to be outside at a small table, so if you have any questions about being on the board or the process, please come talk to me. If you know of someone who you think would be a good person to be on the board, let me know too. We can go talk to them. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chapter 12, Isabella Banished, Unitarianism in Transylvania.
2 spotlights today.
Dream, what's wrong?
Oh, my time is almost ending.
What do you mean?
You know, in the church's Our Future Is Now Dare to Dream Capital campaign, I'm the D in Dare. The first phase of the campaign is Dream the Dream. And my time is almost over.
So what's so bad about that? It just means we're making progress and moving forward.
I know, you're right, but gosh, I love to dream. It's my favorite part of the campaign. Like, what can we do to make the church even better than it is now? Making it easier for people to park, a lower level that is pretty and organized and comfortable for groups of all ages. Hallways that are lighter and brighter, a new playground and outdoor patio. You know, summer's almost here. And then there's the pedestrian bridge over the creek and the natural play stations in the woods for our kids.
Okay, stop. That's enough, Dream. We get the idea. But let's talk about me now. My time is pretty short compared to yours, but the buck stops here with me. If I'm not successful, none of your dreams can come true.
What? Oh, no.
Yes, I'm the big vote the church has to make for us to survive.
How is that going to happen?
Well, first we have to make sure everyone understands what they're voting for at the annual meeting in June. So on Saturday, April 12th, we will have a thorough in-person discussion on the projects in Griffin Hall from 10 till noon.
Oh, can I come? And I'll bring donuts.
Of course you can come.
Oh, good.
We're going to be talking about you, and everyone is encouraged to come. But if people can't come that day, there's also a Zoom discussion the next day on Sunday, April 13th at 6 p.m. via Zoom. The Zoom link will be in the weekly intercom and on the church's online calendar. It gives all our members a way to find out exactly what they will be voting on. You realize that's less than 2 weeks away.
Oh my gosh, that's really coming up quickly. So what will we be talking about exactly?
A master plan has been developed by an architect and the campaign steering committee, describing the current condition of the church and grounds and the specific projects being proposed along with their estimated costs. It's quite detailed. I hope it will be easy for people to believe in me and vote to affirm the dream. The board will be voting on April 15th whether to recommend it to the congregation. So the discussions on the 12th and 13th are really important for people to give their last suggestions about the projects.
Well, this sounds wonderful. I want you to be successful so I can be successful too and make all of my dreams come true.
Well, be careful, Dream. Everybody still has to vote on it to get it passed at the annual meeting. But at least half of the money has been pledged, so we'll see.
So when am I bringing donuts again?
Saturday, April 12th at 10 o'clock, Griffin Hall. But don't forget, there's also a Zoom meeting on Sunday, April 13th at 6 o'clock.
Oh, I get it now, Affirm. I'm just a dream, but you're the real deal. Let's have a great discussion on the 12th and 13th and tell everyone about this so they will vote for you in June and me.
Chapter 12, Isabella Banished. Unitarianism in Transylvania emerged in the turbulent politics of the time. Fostered by Isabella Jagiellon, Transylvania's dowager queen and regent, who enacted Europe's first edict of religious toleration, and her son, John Sigismund, Europe's only Unitarian monarch ever. As the 16th century began, the Ottoman Empire covered Turkey, the Balkans, and Greece. In 1526, the Ottoman Empire under Sultan Suleiman crushed the Hungarian royal army in the Battle of Mohacs and killed King Louis II. Hungary was then divided into three parts. The Ottoman Empire annexed one part, a second part was allowed to continue as a much diminished Hungary, and a third part, Transylvania, was granted autonomy under the rule of John Zapolya, although paying annual tribute to the Ottomans. 13 years after the Battle of Mohacs, in 1539, John Zapolya married Isabella, oldest child of the Polish King Sigismund. John Zapolya was 50 years old, Isabella was 20, beautiful and very bright. A year later, 1540, Isabella gave birth to a son, John Sigismund. 2 weeks later, John Zapolya died from injuries sustained while subduing a rebellion. The young Isabella thus found herself ruler of Transylvania, regent on behalf of her infant son. Archduke Ferdinand immediately moved to retake Transylvania for the Habsburgs. With the military assistance of Sultan Suleiman, Isabella fended off Ferdinand for 10 years, until in 1551, Ferdinand's forces prevailed. Isabella, with her then 11-year-old son, was banished back to Poland to live with her family. Prospects looked very bleak for either Isabella or her son to foster a new religion that endures to this day. But Isabella wasn't done.
that was very nice. Good morning, everyone. I'm John Morrow, Pastoral Care Associate for our congregation. You are invited to call upon the pastoral care team if you're going through any significant transition in your life, just to talk it over. Reach out to us at pastoralcareteam@ucdsm.org. You can always request assistance, volunteer to provide it, or submit a joy or sorrow through the Caring Committee page on our website, or by speaking to me or any member of the pastoral care team. We have a lot to share today. The Queer and Trans Action Group is excited to share that 1,565 people, including both queer folks and allies, as well as adults, teens, and children, attended the 5th Annual Trans Lives Festival here at the church on Saturday. They enjoyed the work of 25 trans artists, craftspeople, and authors, as well as 25 trans performers, including a poet, drag artists, musicians, and a chorus, and connected with 15 community organizations supporting the trans community. Thank you to the members of the core organizing team, the 4 church volunteers, the incredible queer security professionals, skillful food vendors, and everyone who came and enjoyed the creative work of our talented trans neighbors. Leanne mentioned something about the event yesterday, and it truly was amazing. I volunteered for it a number of years ago, and it was incredible to see how it has grown. Just a lot of wonderful positive energy. I spoke with a person who came down from St. Paul to attend, a woman who came from Iowa City. So I think we're getting a bit of a reputation as a great place. And I had a lot of folks who came up to me to thank the church for hosting the event. So I was proud of that. This past Wednesday, Sarah Lauer, had surgery on her hip at the Hospital for Special Surgery in New York City. Her mother, Karen, and her sister, Melissa, are there to help her through this initial recovery phase. Sarah may have to stay in New York for up to 4 weeks. We have an address for her there and a link to her Caring Bridge site at the Caring Ministry desk for anyone interested. Jan Knock shares, I wish to express my deep gratitude for meals from the Caring Ministry team and the Tai Chi class following my accidental fall and injuries. My recovery is fully fueled. I am thankful to Irene and Candace for providing leadership and to all who sustain our Tai Chi group. I'm recovering at home. Jan broke her wrist and sprained an ankle in the fall. We send healing wishes her way. If making a meal for someone or sending a card is a way you'd like to care for your community, please sign up to volunteer at the Caring Ministry desk outside the auditorium doors. And just this morning, I was told that today is Carrie Lynn's birthday. Carrie George, I'm sorry, Carrie and Lynn. I think of you as a unit, I'm sorry. Carrie George, is that correct? Happy birthday. Anybody else celebrating birthday? Happy birthday to you, Carrie George. And finally, a memorial service for Charlie Johnson is set for 1 p.m. on Saturday, April 12th. We'd also remind folks that the service for Caesar Smith is April 26th, and Hazel Zimmerman's service is May 3rd. For all those grieving, we embrace you in the love of this community. For those of you who are grieving, we extend the comfort of an embrace and a gentle reminder and invitation to the monthly grief support group Circle, which meets Monday, March 10th at 5:30 p.m. For those who are particularly vulnerable to attacks from politicians and decision makers wielding their power without compassion, we pledge to use our actions and our voice to respond with strength rooted in justice and revolutionary kindness. May our love and concern grow ever wider. Let us share now together the names of anyone we know who could use some special care and attention. You may call the name out loud or type it into the chat. As we share these names, may the love of this community hold them all.
Some lines from the former UN Secretary General Dag Hammarskjöld. Unless there is a spiritual renaissance, the world will know no peace. If only I may grow firmer, simpler, quieter, and warmer. Our work for peace must begin within the private world of each of us. To build a world without fear, we must be without fear. To build a world of justice, we must be just. Words of Dag Hammarskjöld. Meanwhile, the United States expelled South African Ambassador Ebrahim Rasool after Rasool made unfavorable comments about the MAGA movement in a podcast. As our country ratchets up anti-LGBTQ rhetoric, Great Britain and Germany have warned their members that they travel to the U.S. at their own risk. Greenland's prime minister called a planned visit to the island by U.S. officials highly aggressive. Israel's continual bombardment of Gaza killed 23 people, including 7 children, in one day's assaults this week. To build a world without fear, we must be without fear. To build a world of justice, we must be just. Amen.
May the light of our community shine on the broken places of the world. May we breathe in awareness of every pain and grief and breathe out compassion and comfort. We light 3 candles, one for the joys and sorrows shared aloud, one for those shared in writing, and one for those held silently among us. For all of these, we now observe a minute of silence.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me,
Our training in compassion today is put it in context. Whatever difficulty you are experiencing, take a moment to put it in context. What context? The context that the distinction between self and other is an empty illusion. The absolute context that there is no self and other. There's only being. There's only love, which is being sharing itself without impediment and with warmth. It just happens to look like you and me to us because this is how our minds and our sensory apparatus works. Put it in context means seeing your situation and what you are experiencing in the context of this love without boundary. All the disturbances of your life, all your confusion, which is to say your resistance, your pain, your fear, your grief, your frustrated desires, and so on, put all of this in the absolute context. And that means looking at the underlying reality of the disturbance. What's actually going on when you're upset or angry? If we unhook ourselves from the blaming and the wishing and the self-pitying and look instead at the actual basis of what is in fact going on, what do we see? We see time passing. We see things changing. Moment by moment, time slips away and things transform. The present becomes the past, or does it become the future? And yet, as soon as we examine now, it is gone. Every moment of life, all your moments of pain or despair or confusion, those too are moments of your own inherent wholeness, your inherent perfection. This is a fact, whether you see it or not, and learning to see it is the path of wisdom.
We come now to the offering, recalling our value, pluralism. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. In gratitude, then, we give, for in gratitude we receive.
Who cares? Well, we all care about something, but we don't all care about the same things, which is why we sometimes signal we don't care about something by saying, who cares? But there are some things we all care about. Our theme of the month for April, coming up in a couple days, is caring. There are two questions here: what to care for and about, and how to care effectively. Are there things that we care about that we'd be better off being a bit more nonchalant about? Are there other things we should be paying more attention to? When is worrying a helpful way to keep us focused, and when is it simply useless and harmful anxiety? Let's look more closely at the premise I started with. We don't all care about the same things, but there are some things we all care about. Marshall Rosenberg had a way of distinguishing between the sort of things we all care about and the sorts of things that some of us care about and others don't. The things we all care about, he called needs. Per Rosenberg, a need is not something we will die if we don't get. It's just something we all want, something we all care about getting, often in proportion to how long it's been since we had some. So food and sleep are needs, increasingly so as the hours go by since we last ate or slept. Oxygen is a need insofar as increasingly so as the seconds go by since our last breath. These are part of the sustenance need, which also includes shelter and exercise. We need to sustain ourselves. The other 8 universal needs are safety, love, which includes the need to love and be loved, understanding or empathy, creativity, recreation, a sense of belonging, autonomy, and meaning. Everybody cares about those things. Where we differ is in our strategies for getting them. Everything we do is in service of our needs, but some of our strategies work better than others. So if you're thinking, I need a new mobile phone, that's not really a need in this sense, just a strategy. Getting a new mobile phone is, you are thinking, a strategy for meeting needs of connection. You probably grew up hearing a distinction between needs and wants. As a kid, you might say you needed some toy or the latest cool gadget, and your parents would say, no, you don't need it, you just want it. You probably found that unsatisfying. So I'm saying, forget that. Forget the distinction between needs and wants. They're all wants. Even staying alive is a want. There's no helpful distinction between needs and wants. Instead, the helpful distinction is between needs and strategies, between wants that everybody has and wants that are your particular means to an end, where the end is something everybody wants. So the parent, instead of saying, you don't need that toy, you only want that toy, might say, that toy isn't a universal want, since not everybody wants that toy, so it's a strategy. So what is the universal need or want that you see this toy as a strategy for meeting? And then you can look at what's behind the particular desire. Maybe it's a sense of belonging, or maybe it's recreation or creativity, or a combination of several needs. Once we put it that way, then we're positioned to think about whether there might be other ways to meet that need. Once you recognize your strategy as a strategy, and then identify what need it's a strategy for, then you are less prone to getting attached to and stuck on that strategy. You are freed to explore alternative strategies for that need. It's liberating. Caring, of course, is what defines us. It's what makes us who we are. And yet caring can turn into cares, as in careworn, worn down by cares. And if we aren't paying attention, then what we find ourselves caring about, as judged by the habits we live by, can be out of alignment with what is really conducive to a good life. Yesterday morning at the Zen meditation on Zoom that I lead starting at 6 a.m., Tuesday through Saturday morning, I was sharing with the group some words from Charlotte Joko Beck, saying that we honor and pay attention to the God of comfort and pleasantness and security. In worshiping that God, we destroy our lives. She pointed out that by caring too much about comfort, pleasantness, and security, we pick bad strategies. We get drawn into drugs, alcohol, high speeds, recklessness, anger, because these things seem to offer comfort or pleasantness or security. They seem to assuage our fear of encountering any kind of unpleasantness. If we must have absolute order and control, it's because we're trying to avoid any unpleasantness, Joko says. If we can have things our way, and we get angry if they're not, then we think we can survive and shut out anxiety about death. If we can please everyone, then we imagine no unpleasantness will enter our lives. We hope that we can be the star of the show, shining and wonderful and efficient, and we can have such an admiring audience that we won't have to feel anything. If we can withdraw from the world and just entertain ourselves with our own dreams and fantasies and emotional upheavals, we think we can escape unpleasantness. If we can figure everything out, if we can be so smart that we can fit everything into some sort of plan or order, a complete intellectual understanding, then perhaps we won't be threatened. If we can submit to an authority, have it tell us what to do, then we can give someone else the responsibility for our lives and we don't have to carry it anymore. If we pursue life madly, going after any pleasant sensation, any excitement, any entertainment, perhaps we won't have to feel any pain. If we can tell others what to do, keep them well under control, maybe they can't hurt us. Joko says that every being on earth pursues to some degree this God of no discomfort and no unpleasantness. And as we pursue it, we lose touch with what really is. And this pursuit will inevitably fail. In the frenetic busyness of our pursuits to avoid pain, we lose touch with the absolute wonder of what our life is. We begin to experience that wonder only by contacting our own pain, which means no longer worshiping the God of comfort and pleasantness. For Joko, experiencing our pain, paying attention to it, rather than finding a place where we can shut the pain out, is what leads to surrender and opening into something fresh and new. Our biggest problem is the thought that we should have no problems. Problems and challenges are our life. We come more alive when we are with the pain than when we seek to avoid it. This is the practice of cultivating compassion, which I will say more about after our interlude. So, Bruce, George Gershwin had a piece called Who Cares? You happen to know that one? I do. Oh, good. Thank you. Passion, in its original sense, means suffering. We see that meaning in the Christian phrase, the passion of Christ, meaning the suffering and the pain. So compassion, com meaning with, and passion meaning pain, means being with the pain. Self-compassion is being with your own pain. Compassion for others is being with others' pain. Sometimes there's a fix. The pain of hunger just needs a little food. Sometimes there's not. But rather than denial, just be with the pain. David Brooks's column this week was about people deliberately choosing what was uncomfortable. He talks about Haruki Murakami, who took up running. By the late 2000s, Murakami was running 6 miles a day, 6 days a week, every week of the year, and had run in 23 marathons, plus many other long-distance races, an ultra-marathon, and some triathlons, Brooks writes. The thing is, running was often painful, miserable. Murakami's memoir has lines like, "As I ran this race, I felt I never ever wanted to go through that again." Or, "At 23 miles, I started to hate everything." Or, "I finally reached the end. Strangely, I have no feeling of accomplishment. The only thing I feel is relief that I don't have to run anymore." Or, "It was draining physically, as you can imagine, and for a while afterward, I swore I'd never run again." Yet, run again he does. Brooks then says, all around us, there are people who endure tedium to learn the violin, who repeatedly fall off stair railings learning to skateboard, who go through the arduous mental labor required to solve a scientific problem, who agree to take a job managing other people, which is truly hard, or who start a business, which is insanely hard. He goes on to say, when it comes to the things we really care about, vocation, family, identity, whatever gives our lives purpose, we are operating by a different logic from the logic of seeking pleasure and avoiding pain, which is the logic of passionate desire and often painful effort. And when he says passionate desire in this way, it seems to bring together the modern sense of passion and the original sense of passion as pain. People commit to great projects, he says. They endure hard challenges, not by anything remotely like a cost-benefit analysis, but because they are entranced, enchanted. Some notion or activity has grabbed them, set its hooks inside them, aroused some possibility, fired the imagination. The capacity to be seized is a great talent. Some people go through life thick-skinned. School or career has given them a pragmatic, instrumental, efficiency-maximizing frame of mind. They live their life under pressure, so they keep their head down. They're not open to delight or open to that moment of rapture that can redirect a life. If all we care about is pleasantness and security, we aren't open to wonder and delight. Openness to which also means being open to discomfort and pain. The wonders of life come from being open, broken open, to all of life, the full catastrophe. Close off a part of it, like the pain, and you close off the real wonder. That phrase, the full catastrophe, I take from the title of a book by Jon Kabat-Zinn, Full Catastrophe Living. And he got it from Zorba the Greek, where Zorba says, I am a man who's got the full catastrophe, meaning his life is full of joy and sorrow, love and loss, and everything in between. Kabat-Zinn uses this concept to highlight the idea of embracing life as it is, the full catastrophe that life is, with all its ups and downs. Embrace, rather than resist or avoid the difficult experiences. Take in and pay attention to human experience in all its messy, imperfect glory. Without the difficulties, without the pain, we wouldn't cultivate resilience and find our fulfillment and well-being. David Brooks's column is interested in how that openness can lead us to be seized by what becomes our great life passion, in the sense of a great pain, but also a great meaning and purpose in a life dedicated beyond reason to something, to running or playing the violin or scientific inquiry or writing. Kabat-Zinn is interested in how that openness can lead us to be seized by the simple wonder of a moment. Either way, that openness gets closed off when, as Joko Beck says, what we care about is comfort and pleasantness and security. Consider Sisyphus, the figure in Greek mythology condemned by the gods to Hades and eternal punishment. He had to roll a heavy boulder up a hill, and when he got it to the top, it would roll back down again, and he'd have to start over. For all eternity, rolling the boulder up the hill, watching it roll back down again. He was condemned to that awareness of the futility of his labor and to laboring forever. The futility aspect is rather curious, isn't it? We feel like if we get that boulder to the top of the hill, we've accomplished something. But if it doesn't stay there for even a minute but rolls back down again, then it was futile. But why is a boulder at the top of a hill an accomplishment anyway? Why is it any better to have it at the top than at the base of the hill? It's really no more futile to have the boulder rolling down the hill than to have it staying perched for a while on the hilltop. So if we forget about the futility part, then there's just the pushing part. We are all Sisyphus, pushing our rock. It's not a condemnation or a punishment, it's just each moment, pushing the rock or watching it roll down. We're all doing what we do, moment by moment. But then we add our judgments and our ideas. The hell isn't in pushing the boulder, but in creating ideas of hope and disappointment. It's the idea that we shouldn't have to be doing it that turns any activity into hell. The French writer Albert Camus, in his essay, The Myth of Sisyphus, offers an extended reflection on the lessons of this myth. Camus concludes, "We must imagine Sisyphus happy. If we are totally what we are in every second, we begin to experience life as joy, whatever boulder we might be pushing. Experiencing life as joy doesn't mean there's no sadness. It means we are experiencing the full catastrophe. Sadness might be the opposite of happiness, but it is not the opposite of joy. It is part of the joy because it's part of life. There are those universal needs: sustenance, safety, love, understanding or empathy, creativity, recreation, belonging, autonomy, and meaning. Those needs impel us to devise strategies to meet them. And that's our boulder to keep pushing on. That's what we care about. What we don't have to care about is whether the boulder will stay on the hilltop, or whether we can get someone else to push it for us for a while, or whether we can distract ourselves from the pushing or forget about it with substances. Just push on. Pay attention to your pushing, and pay attention to observing the wonder of the boulder rolling down the hill again. How elegantly it rolls. If we stop thinking that life should be other than exactly what it is, we can find the joy in it. No, that boulder will not stay on the hilltop. Who cares? Amen.
Please stand as you're willing and able to sing our closing hymn, number 127, Can I See Another's Woe?
Please say with me our unison chalice extinguishing words on the screen. As our chalice flame is extinguished, its glow is carried within us, helping us to kindle new sparks throughout our lives and in the world. May the peace and togetherness bless us all.
For those of you who see God, may God be with you. For those who embrace life, may life return your affection. And for those who seek a better way, may a path be found and the courage to take it step by step. Go in peace.
Soul of truth, eternal goodness, sojourn with us as we part. Fill